What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. As always, thank you for clicking in on this one. And if this is your first time here, just want to give you a special welcome and say thank you. I really appreciate you being here. In this one, we're going to be talking about productivity and kind of just like the culture that we kind of live in society, and how there's just endless amounts of apps and ways to be more productive and tools to use, and what happens if you use them and they don't actually serve you. Okay, so first off, I am a self-proclaimed like productivity nerd. Okay, I love watching the videos of Matt D'Avella and of like Thomas Frank, and so if you guys are unfamiliar with them, they are fantastic. But Matt D'Avella talks about productivity and different apps and much more than that. He even has like a Netflix show, I think, or is in the works, or I don't know. And then Thomas Frank talks a lot about Notion, and if you don't know about Notion, I have a couple videos talking about a couple Notion templates that I love to use that keep my life organized. But I want to talk about what happens when you implement something and it no longer serves you. Okay, so just a little like backstory, I guess you can call it. I have been like, I created my own habit tracker in Notion, and I made a video on it. And so like since COVID started, so 2020, right? I was inside all the time, like we all were, and I just needed a way to stay sane. And so like tracking all these habits that I wanted to do, journaling. So the things I tracked were like journaling, drinking water, reading, meditating, and doing yoga, right? And so starting in COVID, like that was 2+ years ago, and I had like I did it for 700 something days in a row, right? Like whatever 365 times 2 is. And so it definitely became a habit. So like it worked. But over time, it just felt like it was becoming more and more of a chore. And so I would estimate for the last like 6 months, maybe all of 2022, I didn't look forward to filling it out and journaling. And even though I even adapted it, so like in the beginning the journaling was just like write whatever you want, and then now I was like, okay, this is too much, like let's just write one sentence of like what I'm grateful for, like a gratefulness journal. So I did that, and so I thought it would make it more manageable, like less stressful, and it was kind of the same thing. And so it got to the point where like I was just writing stuff for the sake of putting something down so that I could say that I did it. And so it took me a long time, but as of like May of this year, I stopped writing in the journal. I stopped tracking all the habits, and I just stopped like cold turkey. And I feel a lot lighter, and it's kind of a common theme in my last couple videos. If you've seen the one about me selling my Apple Watch, I feel lighter selling it, and you can watch that for all the rationale behind it. But I also feel lighter not worrying about tracking my habits and making sure that all the boxes are checked. The thing about it too is that like I still do all of those habits, and they are genuinely actual habits that I have built, but just now they're untracked, right? And for whatever reason, there's just less pressure on me, and if I miss one, then I don't have to beat myself up, because I can see like there's this long streak of like successful completion, and then there's just one where I didn't do it, and it wasn't good for me mentally, right? So I want to like encourage you. This video might be for me as much as it is for you, but if you're ever feeling like man, I'm trying so hard to be productive, I'm tracking this and this and this, and it's just too much, I don't want to do it anymore, let me tell you, okay, it is okay. All right, I struggled with like wanting to stop, but like also just wanting to keep it going because I had invested so much time and energy into it. But at the end of the day, like, you have to take care of yourself, okay? And if it's gonna make you feel better, if it's gonna lighten your mental load, if you're just gonna feel less stressed by not tracking something, do it, okay? Absolutely do it, okay? And you can go down a couple routes. So with the Notion habit tracker, I stopped cold turkey, okay? In a different realm, I've talked about this in past videos as well, but I do yoga every single day, and I also started during COVID because I needed a way to like reduce my stress. So I started doing 45 minutes every single day, and I did that for a long time. And same thing happened. I was like, man, 45 minutes is such a chore. It's such a big chunk of time. Oh my gosh. And I would do it to push through and to like keep my streak going. But eventually I was like, you know what? I'm going to try 30 minutes. And so I did that for a while, and that helped a lot. Like it's 15 minutes, but for whatever reason, it makes it feel a lot quicker, and just like it doesn't take up so much time, and it's less of a chore, right? Inevitably, as of late, I would say probably the last like 3 weeks to a month, I have been feeling the same way about 30 minutes as I did about 45, and so I have gone down to 20. But now the difference is too, is that rather than like, okay, I'm only gonna do 20 minutes of yoga, I'm gonna say I'll do 20 minutes minimum, and if I want to do 30, I will, and if I don't, I won't, and if I don't, I won't beat myself up over it, right? And so that's been a really good like mental shift that I have made, where I'm in control of what I want to do, and for me, like yoga is super important, right? And so it's not hard for me to do 20 minutes of yoga because I love it so much, and it actually like really helps me out every single day. It just helps me decompress after work and just get my body moving, and I can't live without it anymore. But now like I also have more control of just like, oh, I'm feeling good, like I want to do 10 more minutes. Or like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, like, you know what, I did my 20, like that's fantastic, I feel good, but I'm just gonna take it easy and rest. And the other thing too is that like every once in a while now, I'll take an entire day off, which is unheard of for me in the whole habit tracker thing. Like I was never gonna just take a day off, right? Because my brain just likes to see the check boxes, and it's just, productivity is great until it starts messing with like your mental load and your mental health, right? And so there's another guy that I love to follow. He's a finance guy. You guys probably have heard of him, but Ramit Sethi. He's the guy that wrote I Will Teach You to Be Rich, but he craps all the time on all the different productivity apps that are out there, and I love all the productivity apps, but after listening to him, I realized that like I'll use one and it's great, and then I'll delete it and find the next one, and I'll use that and it's great, and then I'll delete it and find the next one, right? And really, like, the apps are not kind of the answer. Like, sure, they help you to be more productive, but at the end of the day, after a certain period of time, I find for myself that they're counterproductive. Where they just cause me stress, where in theory the idea is that, okay, write everything down you want to do, check mark, it's a hit of dopamine, like, oh, good job. And I don't know, somebody needs to make an app that is like kind of not that way, where you can like still feel productive, but not at the cost of like, oh, I didn't do these things today, crap, like I feel bad about myself. And maybe that's just something I need to work on personally, but I don't know. I think a lot of people, maybe you're one of them, but I think a lot of us feel that way, where it's like, oh, I didn't check that box, well then today wasn't a success, right? And that's like the furthest thing from the truth, right? So anyways, I just wanted to put this out there. I am definitely like, I love like the productivity apps, but I think I'm done with them for a while. And I just want to kind of just take control of my life in the way I want to do it. And I know I'm still doing all the things that I want to, I'm just not tracking it, right? And so if this resonated with you, like, let me know, kind of what your journey has been with like different productivity hacks and apps, because there's just endless like videos about that you could go down a giant rabbit hole on YouTube for. But for me right now, I think I'm done with them, and I'm just curious to know if you've had a similar experience, or if you just like wildly disagree with me, or anywhere in between. All right, so just let me know down below in the comments. I just want to thank you again for being here. As always, I really appreciate it. And if this is the first time that we're meeting, hi, I'm Matt. I'm an awkward guy. I just shook your hand virtually, so exhibit A of awkwardness. All right, but anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.